Hello everyone, this is Wonder Recapped. Today we share with you the movie, The Meg. Hope you like it. In an unknown sea, a group of scientists has just caught a 2-million-year-old Meg. Just as everyone was cheering and celebrating, a larger Meg suddenly emerged from the surface of the sea, and the ship on which the scientist was taking was crushed to pieces directly. It all started a few days ago. Dr. Zhang is the owner of a scientific research company. One day, his investor Morris came to inspect their deep-sea research base. Zhang's daughter, Yin, is the chief marine biologist here, and she is responsible for hosting Morris. Everyone came to the research base, and the researchers were observing the situation in the deep sea. Zhang said that what researchers think is the bottom might actually be a layer of hydrogen sulfide. But he believes that beneath the thermocline there could be a completely new world. So Zhang sent divers down to test to see if his theory was correct. After a while, the divers finally entered the thermocline. However, the divers found that the ecosystem is completely cut off from the rest of the ocean by the freezing cold thermocline, and they did not reach the bottom of the sea, which just certified that Zhang's conjecture should be correct. Divers throw flares around to observe the situation, only to see a lot of coral and all sorts of species completely unknown to science. The staff at the base launched a rover to extract the sample. Zhang was very excited. For them, this was a big discovery, and it might even win a Nobel Prize. Not long after, the submarine suddenly detected a signal around it, which seemed to be a very large creature. But at this moment, the accident happened. The rover suddenly lost contact with the submarine, and the submarine was attacked by an unknown creature. After a while, the system of the submarine completely collapsed, and the staff in the research base weren't able to contact divers completely. Not only that, the oxygen in the cabin is only enough for divers to survive for 18 hours. If they attempted to tow ballast valves, the cabin of the submarine would explode. More importantly, they're more than 110,000 meters down and no one has ever attempted a rescue at that depth. At that time, a member remembered that Jonas, a submarine driver, went to these depths before, and they might be able to ask Jonas to help. As soon as the idea was proposed, it was immediately opposed by others, who felt Jonas had a mental disorder. In order to save most of the team members, he chose to sacrifice a small number of team members, which made people prejudiced against him. And Jonas always said that there were giant monsters on the bottom of the sea, which is really unacceptable. However, Zhang thought that this idea was feasible, so he immediately set off for Thailand to explain his problem to Jonas. Jonas was determined not to participate in the submarine rescue before. However, he heard that his ex-wife was trapped below 11,000 meters. He hesitated but chose to help. Meanwhile, the submarine was attacked again. The people at the research base detected the signal from the submarine and immediately report the situation to Yin. They found that the oxygen in the submarine was slowly leaking, and Yin decided to grab the submarine up. Even if there was only a glimmer of hope, they would never give up. After finished speaking, Yin entered the deep sea by gliders. As soon as she left, Zhang came back with Jonas. Jonas heard that the submarine was losing oxygen. He drove another submarine into the deep sea immediately. Jonas was experienced so that he cut off all unnecessary output, which can greatly speed up the descent of the submarine. Seeing this, the staff quickly contacted Yin and asked her to return immediately. Jonas also said that more people mean more risk. However, Yin did not accept the persuasion, and she soon entered the thermocline. Jonas, on the other hand, temporarily cut off the communication equipment for faster access. It didn't take long that Yin found the target submarine. But before she could make the next move, the glider was hit. Then a huge squid appeared and wrapped around the glider, and if it went on like this, the glider would explode within 5 seconds. Suddenly, the squid slowly left. Yin took a closer look and found that it was a huge shark that ate the squid. The shark was called Meg, and it was the giant monster that Jonas had met before. It's until now that everyone knew that Jonas really didn't lie. It didn't take long for Jonas to reach the bottom of the ocean. He asked Yin to turn off the lights, so as to avoid being attacked by the Meg. Jonas asked Yin to leave first, while he stayed to rescue the people in the submarine. He quickly connected to the hatch of the submarine, and then successfully rescued his ex-wife and others. But at this moment, the Meg returned again. In order to save others, a team member decided to sacrifice himself and let others leave safely. The death of the team members made everyone feel very heavy, so Yin decided to call the team members for a meeting. The megalodon was the largest shark that ever existed. It feared nothing. It had no predators. But the problem is that, according to the data, megs were thought to have been extinct for over 2 million years. So Zhang and Morris considered whether to continue sending people to investigate more. Morris said he invested a lot of money so that the research had to be carried through to the end. But Zhang believed that the world below the thermocline was too dangerous. If they continue to send people back down there, more innocents will die. Jonas also told Morris that he would no longer participate in any rescue activities, and then turn to leave. But Morris wasn't going to follow the advice, because he was a businessman. Once this research was published, the money will be untold. On the other side, Mei Ying, Yin's daughter, was playing in the underground base. Suddenly, she saw a meg outside the transparent wall, and then the megalodon began to hit the transparent wall. The crowd heard the noise and rushed to check it out, and as soon as they entered the door, they saw the tooth marks of the meg on the glass wall. It didn't take long for the crowd to witness the meg eating a whale in the marine base. The researchers quickly examined why the meg was present at the marine base. It turned out that the submarine had entered the thermocline several times, causing a huge hole in the thermocline, and the meg had drilled out of that hole. Even more frightening is that the hole in the thermocline was slowly filling in. Jonas felt that he should find a way to kill the meg, but Yin opposed this proposal. As they argued, the researchers received an emergency locator beacon. 3 boats have gone down to the southwest, most likely did by the meg. No time to wait, everyone immediately went to the target sea area. However, when they arrived, the ship had fallen apart, and there were broken limbs and arms everywhere. Before long, they saw the fin of the meg. The situation is urgent. Zhang said that there were weapons on board, and he wanted Jonas to try to stab the meg, but the possibility was too low. Morris proposed that a tracker could be attached to the meg. So, Jonas jumped into the sea with tracker rifle. He wandered around looking for the meg, and soon saw the fin not far away. After a while, the megalodon dived to the bottom of the sea. Jonas could barely see what is going on in the sea. The situation was so dangerous for him. Suddenly, the meg swam over. Jonas quickly fired the tracker at it, and his teammates immediately pulled him back. But the noise was so loud that they alarmed the meg. Everyone saw that Jonas was about to be eaten by the meg. They worked together to pull Jonas back in time. Next, they prepared a lot of atorphine and a huge shark cage to deal with the meg at once. Yin is very experienced in catching sharks, so she volunteered to go down to kill the megalodon. Yin stayed in a shark cage and entered the deep sea, while her teammates sprinkled a lot of shark feed around her. It didn't take long for Yin to be surrounded by sharks. At the same time, the meg, which smelled blood, also rushed here. It directly hit the shark cage into deformation, which prevented Yin from firing the javelin accurately. Suddenly, the meg bit the shark cage and swam away quickly. Since the shark cage was tied to the boat, everyone was forced to leave with the megalodon. Although Yin successfully launched the javelin into the meg in the chaos, she was trapped in the meg's mouth. Jonas was worried, but the team has been emphasizing that the shark cage was impossible to break. That's why the meg wanted to swallow the shark cage. When Jonas heard that, he took the bull by the horns and put on his diving suit and jumped down to rescue Yin. He grabbed the rope of the shark cage tightly, but he did not expect that the rope was actually broken, and one of the team members was directly thrown into the sea. The meg heard the noise and turned to attack him. Jonas took the opportunity to rescue Yin immediately, but at this time Yin was unconscious because of insufficient oxygen. The crowd had no choice but try to delay the time as long as possible, and not let the meg pass. At the critical moment, the rifle took effect. The meg slowly stopped moving until it died. Yin also survived with Jonas' help. After that, everyone dragged the meg up. They were very happy to have successfully killed the meg, but Jonas realized something was wrong. Because the teeth of this meg did not match the bite marks on the glass wall in the ocean base. Sure enough, not long after, a meg drilled out of the sea again. It directly swallowed the dead meg, and the ship was completely overturned. It turned out that there were 2 megs in the sea, and many teammates were killed. Everyone hurried back in a lifeboat and called for rescue, with the Meg chasing after them. At the critical moment, the rescue team arrived here by helicopter. They fired trackers and launched an artillery attack, but unfortunately John died in the chaos. After that, Morris said that he had informed the government about the Meg, and the government were sending 2 destroyers to take it out. Just as he was speaking, a helicopter suddenly came to pick up Morris. After Morris got on the plane, he sent people to the target sea area to drop depth charges. After a while, a huge dead body appeared on the sea. But just as everyone excitedly prepared to celebrate the victory, they found that it was not a Meg, but a herring. At that time, the real Meg appeared. Everyone hurriedly drove the boat to escape, but Morris accidentally fell off the boat and was eaten by the megalodon. The next day, people at the research base found that Morris had not called anyone. Morris wanted to make this go away as quietly as possible. However, they could only deal with the Meg on their own at that time. After investigation, the researchers found that the Meg was heading towards Sanya Bay, so they wanted to kill the Meg before it could get there. Unfortunately, before they came to Sanya Bay, the Meg had already started attacking people in the bay. Fortunately, Yin used a special sound wave to attract the attention of the Meg. Then Yin and Jonas dived into the sea in a glider, ready to kill the Meg. The Meg soon came to attack Jonas, while accidentally Jonas's glider was broken during the chase. So Jonas seized the opportunity to lure the Meg, and Yin took the opportunity to fire a shell, but unfortunately she didn't hit. Afterwards, Yin slowly approached Jonas while attracting the Meg. Jonas wanted to launch a missile, but the glider failed, so he had to run away. At that time, 3 helicopters in the air collided. The wreckage blew up their hulls. Jonas was still trying to deal with the Meg, while Yin went to rescue her teammates who fell into the water. Jonas drove the glider and scratched the Meg with a broken piece of iron. The Meg bit the glider in anger, and Jonas quickly put on the oxygen bottle and drilled out. Then he picked up an iron rod and inserted it into the eye of the Meg. Soon, the blood of the Meg attracted other sharks around. At the end of the story, the Meg was eventually eaten by the sharks, and Jonas was successfully rescued. The film is titled The Meg. Li Bingbing co-starred with Hollywood action star Jason Statham in the movie. The special effects of the film are impeccable, and the plot is not bad. Interested viewers can go and watch the original film, and see you next time.